Hey y'all, what's up? Belated Happy 9/11, the D-Day, the day that starts to really get people questioning, who's in control of things. 9/11 is a very important day, which I didn't make a video yesterday, so I was like, well, I have to acknowledge it and make a belated video today. So I hope you guys will forgive me. I had some friends over. And it was great this week. So I kind of took a little bit of vacation. I didn't really go anywhere, but just having like-minded friends around that you can talk about this stuff with is a vacation. Because I mean, because so many people are just falling for the narrative. They're not using their brain. They're not thinking. They're just doing what they're told. They're not using their critical thinking skills. They're just like, we were talking about the other day, as my friends were over, we were talking about how you'll talk to people and you'll give them really common sense situations about the mask. Like I always talk about, like, oh, the homeless people didn't die, they didn't do any of that. Oh, like virologists wear hazmat suits, oh, where are the biohazard bins if this is such a deadly contagious virus? And usually I was talking to one friend and he was like, yeah, people are just like, yeah, they'll agree with you and they'll even get examples from their own personal life, and then they'll just put the mask back on afterwards. I'm like, all right. Today I was in line. I'm doing errands today. Ooh, my cars are really hot. Let me see. I don't know if that's gonna pick up. And then there's a CrossFit place, which is next to I don't know what to do. But then if I turn my AC on, it's gonna be too loud. So okay, anyway, I'll just try. Let me see. I'll just start with the door closed, see how that works. Till I just start sweating bullets. But anyway, yeah, we were just talking about. I was at the store, and this lady standing in line next to me. She's like, "How do you get away with not wearing the mask?" And I was just like, I showed her the orders. That which got extended, by the way. Yay, Governor Abbott, yay. Okay, we know what side you're on, though. That's okay, we know. Okay, so anyway, I was saying, I carry the orders around. Nobody really asked me for it, though. I mean, I always offer it to them, and then they never want to read it. I'm just like, they'll say, hey, why aren't you wearing a mask? And I'm just like, medical condition. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I have the orders here. Do you want to read them? They're like, oh, no. I'm like, all right, okay. Okay, but no, like 9 out of 10 people have not wanted to read the orders. So I showed her the orders, and I was just like, look, lady, you just have to own it. Like, this is BS. You have to stand in your truth and just own it. There's so many people that are afraid what other people will think of them, or they just don't want to, they just don't want any drama. They want to be in and out. You just got to think, as my friend April says, the co-founder of the channel, she was saying that every time she puts the mask on, she doesn't really wear a mask either, but when she started, she was like, when I put this mask on, every time I feel like my soul dies a little bit inside. And I'm like, you know what? That's what I was feeling at my job. Even though I wasn't putting it all the way, I felt like I was just getting slowly crushed every fucking day by these rules that it's like, that's the thing that just drives me crazy. It's like, it doesn't even protect you. It says so on the box. So why are you wearing it? And it's going to increase your risk of infection, stress, bacteria building up, not being able to breathe properly. There's stuff that when you exhale, there are elements in your body that you're supposed to exhale, and they're supposed to stay exhaled, not like trapped. And, we weren't meant to breathe. This is we weren't meant to breathe in a mask. We were meant to breathe, right? So, I don't know, maybe that lady will think about it. I never, really make fun of people. It was kind of tempting at first because I was angry, but there are people that know this is bullshit and they have to wear it because of their job, or they just it actually just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see people muzzled and confined, and little kids, man. It just drives me crazy. I try and maintain eye contact. Sometimes I don't, because I can feel the people's energy, and if they're mad that I'm not wearing a mask, I don't want to have to get into a confrontation. And then most of the time I'll remind myself to look at people in the eye and smile, and a lot of people appreciate the fact that, I think, if they do see somebody not wearing a mask, that they can look into their face and just smile, or they can look at their eye. We're losing our human contact too, psychologically, spiritually. I'm telling you guys, I've always been saying this is a spiritual war, you know. Anyway, the second module is up. I didn't put a video out announcing it, but usually I would try and have the next module up by at least Tuesday. So if I don't make a video announcing it, then I will just go and check if you're enrolled in the conspiracy realism course. The second module has been up since Tuesday, and I'm working on the third one right now. Yay! So I got 7 more to go, or after this one I have 7 more to go. So yeah, I just wanted to know maybe your thoughts, since this is partly an announcement video and partly a just harping on 9/11, a belated video. So I just, I'm curious to know your stories. Where were you when 9/11 happened? That's one event, if you were alive, depending on how young you were. Most people remember where they were that day and what happened, what they thought. Did you guys fall for the Kool-Aid? And I did. I totally did. I did. I remember I was so scared. I was younger, but I was just like, what's going on? And so that's why even in this coronavirus situation, I understand how people are I understand how people are kind of scared, and they just, like, even the smartest people you think they're just complying because they're scared. It doesn't matter how much how smart you are. When you are in fear or you're in a heightened emotional state, all that shit goes out the window. And it's funny because I used to watch Stefan Molyneux a lot, and I like him. I don't like, but I really like, he just places so much emphasis on IQ that it's kind of like embarrassing, in the sense that he comes off as very naive, because he thinks that IQ is the say all be all end all of everything, and there's so many other factors that he's missing. When he talks about intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, mental stability, are people being put in a position where they're having stuff done to their food and water that lowers their IQ? Are they being abused? Are they in a loving situation that, where they're eating healthy food and they have an environment that, encourages growth and knowledge? And I mean, that's one way people can raise their IQ. There's a whole myth about IQ, and that, you're just kind of, I think people think it's just kind of, you're just kind of born with it, and then, you're just SOL, if you don't have a high IQ. But that's not true. You can raise your IQ, and your IQ can also be lowered. It's not static, right? That's a big myth about IQ. And I think once when 9/11 happened, and I didn't go down the rabbit hole too much. I mean, I start to question things a little more after the fear starts to go away. But I remember one thing I did think about, fluoride was one of those things, right? And fluoride is one of the things that can lower IQ. Or, I'm going high, but lower IQ. Going this way, yeah. Okay. So, fluoride is one of those things. Why is fluoride in the water? Why, if it's good for your teeth, why do you have to swallow it? Right? Why are they putting it in our water without our consent? And isn't that, with our consent, isn't that something that you should decide as a people? If you want fluoride for better teeth, then you should be able to just get fluoride yourself and use it in any, but not put it in the water supply. If you're putting in the water supply, you're not really giving people a choice, are you? What is that about, right? And I just interviewed Suburban Homestead Outfitters, and it was a really great interview. I'll have that up sometime this week. But we were just talking about how independence is freedom, and we were talking about like 9/11 and conspiracies. And when you start to go down that rabbit hole, it's good to be very informed, but you also have to get to the point where you have to, what are you gonna do about it, right? You can complain, you can find like-minded people. It's great to talk about these concepts and these discoveries with people, especially as you're finding them. I think it's very it's crazy making, for lack of a better word. I know it's a little bit early. I know there's a word somewhere in the back of my head, vocabulary-wise, that would suit that. But it's comforting, but you also have to think about what you're going to do. So we were talking about, the importance of being able to be self-sufficient, right? Being able to grow food, hunt, garden, fish, and all these controllers. The more, this is the real way to beat the controllers. The more independent you are, the more they lose, because really what they have is, why they have us by the cojones, cojones, huevos. I'll just say huevos, is because we're dependent. We're dependent on them for a lot of stuff. They're saying, you brought up a good point in the interview. He was saying that, like, after, what was I going to say? Oh, I think there's a statement made that if people lose power, if power is lost for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of people will die. And he was like, that's interesting, because we didn't have power 200 years ago and that wasn't the case. Yeah, it's because we're dependent. We're dependent on heat and refrigerators and all this stuff to survive, where if you knew how to hunt and grow stuff, it wasn't a big deal. Even people in the Great Depression, they knew how to grow food and they were still self-sufficient to a larger degree. So God forbid, if people were to lose power, especially during the winter, a lot of people will die, but not because the power is lost, it's because they're not sufficient, right? So just, how do you wake up, you go down this rabbit hole, 9/11 was an inside job. You know it. If you're on this channel, you know it. You better know. That's Conspiracy 101, okay? I talked about that in the first module, all right? That's like elementary, conspiracy realism concept, is that it was an inside job, and it wasn't, the official story was a lie. And if you really use your common sense, just like this dumbass, narrative that you're trying to feed us now, box cutters, really? They took down 4 planes with box cutters? Okay, all right, I guess. And they go down, free fall speed as if it's a demolition, and they just happen to find magic passports blocks away in complete, that are in complete perfect condition. Okay, if that's what you want to believe, but that if you believe that, I question your sanity, really. I mean, you really have to look into the story and see, the official story is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Just like this official story with the big C, what was I going to call it? The Rona, I forgot, the Kung Fu flu is. The official story is really retarded. It's retarded. This virus escaped from somewhere, we don't know, we can't see it. So, it's like the boogeyman. We're being told to be scared of something we really can't see. Just like you read history books and you would see certain cultures and how they had these superstitions about certain things, and you laugh at them and you're like, oh, those people are so silly. Like, that's what people are going to be doing in the future to us if we survive in in this day and age. So it's very interesting, right? Anyway, all right, I just want to get my video started for the week. Happy belated 9/11. I want to hear your stories. Where were you? Did you fall for the official story? And if you did, when did you start to realize it was some bullshit? All right, that's it, y'all. I will talk to you soon. I got some other videos coming up. Peace, peace, and love. Bye-bye. Mwah. Oh shit, join my email list. Join it. Okay. Peace and love. Bye-bye. Mwah.